Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Bye up, bye up. It's a good one. Let's get to that intro. Welcome back to the channel. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put the notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I appreciate the support. I'm very humbled by it. Okay, Lucky Sun, right? From Hoodstocks. Man, are they dragging his name through the mud? Do you agree with it or do you disagree with it? Are you on the side of the fence that believes he wasn't trying to be racial? Or are you on the other side of the fence that believes, man, he's just a typical ass Mexican, right? Being racial. Look, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I didn't think what he said was very racial. Was it racially motivated? Yes, it was. Okay, he did say, so let me explain it to you, man, before you get it twisted and you guys twist my words. I don't believe he did it because he hates black people or any other people. I think he did it in trying to be a comedian and describe African Americans using a derogatory way of doing it. Okay, and it shouldn't have been done, and there's no excuses, and I don't rock with any of that right there. But at the same time, I do understand that he was trying to be funny. I do understand he didn't mean to offend, a whole ethnicity of people, but he did. And the facts are he stood on that. Okay. And the facts are the brothers that stand against that, I rock with that too. Anytime anyone says anything that can be misconstrued or can lead to some type of hatred on either side, man, it's just it's a bad look, right? And it was definitely a bad look for Lucky. It was a bad look saying what he said. But now we're a week later and people are still trying to fight. People are still talking about pulling up. People are still talking about doing this and doing that. The fact of the matter is, if you as a person can get that mad over some words that you want to put hands on someone, right? That's on you. Now, let's talk about Sportyface real quick, right? Who definitely I respect, man, the way he got down, the way he said what he said. But it seems like he has a lot of dislike and now I won't say hatred because that's a strong word, but a lot of dislike for Lucky, right? Now, whether it be something else other than what Lucky said or just that, he wants to be the champion for his peoples. And I realize it, I see it, and I understand it. And he did, and the way he put his little statement out challenging Lucky to a fight, right? That was he did it in the best way he could, as respectful to the gente, the raza as he could. He said, look, man, I fuck with the Mexicans that fuck with us. Okay. Here's the thing about this. I fuck with everyone, even if you don't fuck with me. Right. My thing is, I'm not going to be like, oh man, you feel some type of way. You were raised some type of way. So I hate you or I dislike you. Nah, I could care less, man. You know what I'm saying? If you hang around with me and you're cool and you show me the content of your character as a man, I don't care about no pigmentation of skin. I don't care about your culture. I don't care about how you grew up. As long as you respect me when you're around me, man, you got that coming. If you disrespect me when you're around me, then you got that coming. And maybe my level of disrespect is different than yours, right? So that's how I play it. But I understand that Sportyface realized two things in this whole situation. One, man, this individual done said something about my peoples, and I'm willing to stand on that for my peoples, right? But nobody has to champion for their people. No, and Sportyface is not, he wasn't instructed to do that. He doesn't have to do that. He chose out of his own free will as a man to say, I'm going to defend the honor and the integrity of the black people, right? I respect it. I respect it, man. There's been plenty of times on the reverse side that a lot of shit has been said about the raza. A lot of shit has been said about Mexicans. Tacos and burritos and Home Depots. And I remember all these things being said and carnita plates and, a lot of derogatory terms that if you would have flipped that and said it about the brothers, man, they would have been feeling some type of way. And a lot of Mexicans championed that too and said, you know what, that wasn't right. But you know, people are going to say things. People are going to be stereotypical. That's just how this world is, man. That's the way it's ingrained to us. Well, we need to look at it this way. As a black and brown community, man, we're losing if we fall into the trap. We are losing if we fall into that trap. And there's only one people behind it laughing at us both and saying, you know what? That's views for me. And that's people like Adam, the devil, right? He's going to sit back and stir the controversy between black and brown and try to say, oh, man, that wasn't right what the Mexicans said. It wasn't right. Is it right when Charleston White says it, though, about Mexicans? You don't say nothing about that, Adam. Is it right when WAC 100 disrespects the Mexicans? Nah, you don't say nothing about that, though, right? You only say it, you know what I'm saying, when it's about a Mexican because you don't like Mexicans. And that's just straight up, right? Now, I don't believe Sportyface hates all Mexicans. I believe that man just heard something he didn't like to hear. It was called an ear buster. He got his ear busted. That's what happens. And he was like, who the fuck is this dude disrespecting my peoples, man? I'm trying to see him. You know, on some gangster shit. I'm trying to see him. We're trying to get into some gangster shit. Now, he did throw the challenge out there. And I felt that the way Lucky handled the situation was correct. Okay, Lucky never turned down a fade. There's people saying, oh, he turned down the fade. He's scared. No, he straight up said, hey, if you feel disrespected by this, I don't understand why. I didn't mean to disrespect you. I apologize to you and your peoples if that's how you feel. But I'm not getting in no ring. I ain't trying to go after no bag. I ain't no YouTube celebrity. I ain't no none of that. What I will do is keep it in the streets. And if you feel that, and he didn't direct it at Sportyface, he directed at everybody. He said, if you feel that, you want to get some off your chest. If you feel that bad about that comment, then I'll be over here at this certain time, man, and we can keep it street. Now, he did pull up where he said he was going to pull up. He dropped his Addy. He pulled up. Now, don't get it twisted. He wasn't by himself, and I wouldn't be either. He was about 50 deep, okay? Now, people are saying, oh, man, he had to pull up with a gang of people, a gang of shooters, a gang of hitters, man, because he was scared to be out there. No, he was doing an event, and that many people were going to show up anyways, okay? But he looked fully prepared, man. I seen Lucky out there. He had the gloves on. He was ready. Now, win, lose, or draw in a fight doesn't matter. The pull-up does, though, right? That man pulled up and said where he was. Now, that doesn't make him tougher or stronger because Sportyface or any other brother didn't pull up. Because the last thing we want to see is division. The last thing we want to see in the black and brown community is black and brown going at it, okay? There's other people with other agendas that want to see that, and that's a fact, right? This whole situation, man, could have been avoided in timing, okay? Lucky saying what he said was bad timing. It left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. And if you really go back and you look at that podcast and what he said, yes, he was quoting a movie, and let's not get it twisted. And you know, you could try to flip it any way you want. He was using that term to describe a black man who was blueface or any other brother, man, when he asked Loca, would she be with black men? First of all, man, to even ask that question, why? Why is that a question in the Mexican community? Why is that a question? Do you ask a woman, would you be with the Mexican man? Do you meet a black woman and say, would you be with the white man? And if she says yes or no, your feelings are going to get hurt, or everything you're going to live off of is going to be dependent upon that answer. Everything you do from that point on. You know, I don't meet a Mexican chick and say, hey, would you be with the black man? Like, that's not even in the topic of conversation. Her past, her preference, she's right there with you. Right? So who her preference is she's going to rock around that. You know, I got primas, man. Let me tell you guys a story. And it's going to seem a little outlandish and crazy, but it's the facts and it's the truth. And it was a big old thing. So I have a prima, beautiful. She's beautiful, man. She used to be a Raider Red, all that, right? Just beautiful. My uncle was truly blessed with a beautiful wife, and they had beautiful daughters. And so my prima grew up good. She grew up in the Bay Area. She grew up, you know, her daddy's girl. That was his first daughter. He gave her the world, right? I model my parenting with my kids, my daughters, after what my Theo did, because he was such a good father to his children. They're all grown up now, having kids and doing their thing, and now he's a great grandfather. But he's a hard worker. He worked hard for his family, provided a nice home in the Bay, which is expensive. Beautiful wife that he met in Mexico, my tia, and it's just, you know, just great family. Anyways, me and my Theo, now we're the black sheep of the family. My other Theo, he's passed now, my Theo Joe, right? And we're going to do a family function. It's at the lake, man. It's 4th of July. We went to the Yosemite Lake in Merced, right? So all my family came from the Bay. We brought jet skis. We're doing our thing. We're out there barbecuing. This is years and years ago. My prima's now married to her brother, right? But we're going to get to all that. She's going to bring her friend with her, right? So because we like, who's all coming? Because we want to make sure we got the food right. We need 10 pounds of carnitas. We need fucking 20 pounds of carne asada. You know how it is. Mexicans be like overdoing it. We need a gang of tortillas, right? Tortillas for everything. Oh, what do we have? Cereal. You got the tortillas, right? Straight up. Shit, we eat tortillas with everything. Malto meal, all kinds of shit. So anyways, we're trying to figure it out. She and my Theo, the good one, right? I have a bad Theo and a good Theo, and I hang with the bad one, right? But the good one's like, hey, my daughter's going to come. She's bringing a friend, right? And it's all whatever. So, of course, we're kicking back eating. Next you know, a brother walks by. And this is a brother, right? This brother's brothered out the game, right? He's like, hey, what's happening? And I'm like, what's up? And I'm thinking, damn, did this brother just walk all up in the Mexicans fucking barbecue and just snatch some tortilla, right? What had happened was he told it was my prima's friend. It was her boyfriend, right? And they were young at the time, 19, 20, right? And I see him, and then I realize, okay, he's with my prima. It's cool. My uncle, who to this point grew up in Oakland, Turlock, California, like he had a gang of black friends. I used to go pull up his pad. Never seen a racial thing in my life, but he just didn't like this dude. He didn't like him because he was black. He didn't like the way he was treating my prima. Go make my plate. Go do this. Go do that, right? So he's like, man, we're going to have to check this dude. So I'm like, whatever you want to do, I'm riding with you. You're my fan band, right? So we went up and we checked this dude, right? And it became a racial thing. Oh, you don't like me because I'm black. I said, nah, I don't even dislike you. I'm just riding with my uncle, right? You know what I'm saying? My uncle's like, nah, I don't dislike you because you're black. I dislike you because you're a piece of shit. The way you treat women, right? The way you're doing this right here. So we scared him off, man. My uncle put hands on him. It was all bad. And my prima didn't want to talk to us for a long time. Well, she ends up arriving to another family function about a couple years later, and she got the man that she's married to now. Great dude, Andre, right? My cousin. He's a brother. He's a brother, man, and it's nothing but love. My uncle loved him some Dre, right? Dre was his shit, man. Him and Dre, he was like, man, I love that dude. He's respect for the women. He was just a good dude, right? Black, brown, white, green, it didn't matter. See, we seen two brothers because she's attracted to black men. That's her thing. We didn't hate on it. It was what it was, right? They have beautiful children, all that. But that just was her preference. But there was no one asked her like, hey, why do you like black guys? Or are you into, like, no one cared. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if it was family and it was respectful, then it was family. You know what I'm saying? And that's right off the top. So you never ask a woman, I never have, hey, do you like black guys or would you be with a black guy? Like that right there in itself is a little racially motivated. That's to me. Okay, I'm not saying Lucky is racial or anything because there are dudes that feel some type of way. You know, in Southern California is different from Northern California. I'll say it right off the top. In Northern California, the black and brown communities are more blended, man. It seems like we grew up a little bit different. You know, in Southern California, there is a lot of black and brown communities, a lot of love, right? But at the end of the day, man, I think a lot of the racial division in prison leaks out into the areas, man, and it kind of like takes a grip and a foothold in what's going on out there. You know, I seen Compton Rick Rock. I got a lot of respect for his channel, man. That dude right there is gamed up like no other, right? And he did a video and he said pretty much how I felt, right? He said, you know, motherfuckers is only tripping right here. This whole, what Adam stirred up, this controversy, and we can't just blame Adam, even though he's a piece of shit. We can't blame him only because, I mean, what was said was said. Adam is just repeating it, right? And trying to get people pumped up about it so he can get some views off of it. But what was said, and that stands with Lucky, and he had to stand on that and apologize for that, and that's just real. And he should have never said it, and it was bad. But at the same time, what Compton Rick Rock said was, that's only some YouTube shit, man. You see all these motherfucking level 5 killers wanting to get off and cause black and brown division and fights and get the bags and all that. But in the streets, the black and brown community is not affected, man. Half of them don't even watch YouTube. They're just pushing, doing their thing. You know, there's nothing but love. So at in the grand scheme of things, man, one person saying something offensive that they should not have said shouldn't affect all communities and different cultures. It shouldn't. Okay, it upset some people, and I get it, and they righteously have a reason to be upset. But to immediately take to the internet and say, hey man, and I respect Compton Rick Rock, his saying on, I respect Sportyface's position on it, I respect Lucky's position on what he said, standing on that and really pulling up. I respect everything, but what I don't respect is that dude Gumby, and I don't know, man, immediately saying wetback and beaners, and like, come on, bro. That man didn't say the N-word. That man said a quote from a movie in bad taste and in bad timing, man. And guess what? He should never fucking said that. And you should direct your wrath and your venom towards him and not everybody in the community, because that ain't cool. That ain't cool, because then what happens is you got some youngsters, he's going to say the N-word or something stupid, and it's going to go back and forth. And then next thing you know, man, you're going to have people really, really trying to divide each other. And I know some people, there's going to be motherfuckers, oh, you're just making excuses. I ain't making excuses for no one, man. I think this situation needs to die out, because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, when a brother says something bad about a Mexican, it dies out. So I think as a community, we need to understand each other better, talk to each other better, realize, man, that we go through a lot of the same hardships. It ain't a competition who was fucking hit harder. It ain't a competition of who hits harder. It ain't a competition of who has more than the other. It ain't a competition of where Jordans came from, where Ben Davis's came from, who was low riding first, who raps better. None of that shit should matter. All that matters is one guy said something he shouldn't have, and that conversation shouldn't even been had in. He should have never sat down and asked the woman if she'll be with the black man. Right there when he said that, I was like, oh, this is doomed. This whole shit is doomed right from the gate. And not a lot of people are focusing on that. They're more focused on the booty scratcher comment, right? When I watched Boys in the Hood, I remember that was one of my favorite parts. Yeah, I'll get my brother shoot you in the face, right? I remember that shit. Never picked up on that word. Like, I'm hearing a lot of people say, oh, I used to say that all the time back in the 80s and the 90s running around. I didn't. I didn't because it was offensive. I didn't because, it's not about what you say. It's the whole get down of why you're saying it. Why would I say that? To be funny? You know what I'm saying? The brothers ain't going to feel that that's funny. I don't think it's funny. You know what I'm saying? If they said you're a Mexican booty scratcher, I wouldn't think that was funny. I'd be like, how you know I scratch my ass all the time? Like, I would trip out. But at the end of the day, I get it that it's derogatory and it's offensive to some people. And Sportyface championed for his people. Now, I don't believe in let's get the bag in the ring and all that, because if you're that mad to put hands on another man, if you want to put hands and feet on a man, if you let it get you there, then just like the prison yard, man, there's an old saying, right? The saying is this, because a lot of people always like, why do Mexicans use knives in prison? Why can't they just get the fade and fight one-on-one and use these? Why they got to use knives on the level 4s and all that? Well, here's my thing. There's no fair ones. And also this is what was told to me, how I was gamed up, right? If you're to the point where you have to put hands on another man, you might as well kill him. That's what was told to me. Like, you're not gonna put hands on someone. He's gonna feel some type of way if you beat him up, and he's gonna come back, try to hurt you, and it's just gonna keep going back and forth and escalate. You might as well just fucking boom, end it right there. So that was just the mentality there, and some of that prison mentality is utilized on the streets by some people, and then there's some that now the social media is taking over, and people are like, "Fuck that, man! Let's get a bag up out of it." There's controversy, there's drama. Let's get a bag. You don't need to get a bag in the ring. If you're going to go in a ring with someone, it should be a charity event. It should be to make money. I get it, but not a grudge match. You should be just like sparring with someone man, and respect, and not a grudge match where I hate this motherfucker and I'm trying to kill him. So if it's to that point, you might as well do your thing, do your do. You know what I'm saying? Do what it do. Mountain Dew Zoo, right? That's just how I feel. Anyways, man, I just wanted to touch on the point that, the raza and the black community's got way more in common than we don't. And we can't allow one person's foolish statement, because it was foolish. And then no disrespect towards Lucky, man. I could see it in his eyes, man. He's not racial. He's not fucking prejudiced. He's not none of that. He just thought it would be funny. And it wasn't. Straight up, As far as Sportyface goes, I understand him feeling some type of way, but there's other ways to do it. I'm sure he can get at old boy and they can catch up. But for the people that are running around saying Lucky turned down the fade and he's scared and this and that, no, he didn't. He said, man, we keep it to the streets. He turned down the boxing match, but he didn't never turn down no fade. He told everybody where he was going to be and said, however you want to pull up. You know what I'm saying? If you can't read between those lines, hey, you can sit there and listen to Lil Wayne songs all damn day, right? And hear the subliminals in them. That motherfucker shot subliminals. This is where I'm going to be. This is how we're going to be. And this is what it's going to be. Right? Nobody pulled up. And I'm not saying because people were scared. It's just no one pulled up. It should die where it is. That's it. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in. That's the betterment of all people. Black, brown, white, green, doesn't matter, right? This video is sponsored by Barrio Liquors. If you're ever in the Turlock, California area, go to the fucking world-renowned greatest spot ran by Lolly, man. Go get you a ticket. Go get you something to drink. Get you some cool, refreshing drinks, right? And do your thing right there. Barrio Liquors in Turlock, California, man. Award-winning Barrio Liquors. Bang, bang. Gun gang.